Everything around her was dark. There was no light other than the faint trickle of the small computer screen, and somewhere the sound of an annoying cough kept echoing. That was the sound of her coughing. Moreover, she felt her heart being squeezed little by little. Then Presepe realized that what was happening now was nothing but a dream. Inside the game, she had never felt such pain. KH, the coughing repeated again, and Juyeon reached out her pale hand to pick up something. It was a medicine bag. As if she was accustomed to this matter, she quickly put the pills in her mouth and swallowed them with a little water, then held her chest in severe pain. This was an act with which Presepe had nothing to do. She felt like she was trapped inside Juyeon's own body. Make sure, in the real world, Juyeon was still clutching her chest on the left side, her eyes fixed on the computer screen as she muttered with a pale face as if she had lost her mind, "I have to make sure." Verify what? But Presepe didn't know, and there was no way to know. As for Juyeon, she kept staring at the screen with a face distorted by pain or anger, which was not clear. On the laptop screen appeared something very familiar to Presepe, the name of the damned game, and the splash screen. Just like in the title, Presepe is locked in a cage, with a sad face. Then a guidance window appears. Notice, the game has not been prepared to run. Juyeon shouted angrily, "Why doesn't it work again and again?" She was filled with anger and curses, but the toy never moved. No matter how many times she reinstalled, all that remained was the same cold window. Huh. Damn, Juyeon coughed hard, then leaned over slightly as she sat down. Even though she took the medication, the pain in her chest was getting worse. Even breathing itself became difficult. Were you sick? With this intensity? But no matter how much she tried to regain her memory, nothing came to her mind. Even Juyeon's room, which she saw in front of her now, seemed foreign to her. She did not resemble Fenric's palace, nor did she resemble the tower in the imperial palace where she was always kept. Juyeon gasped as she frantically tried to breathe, then drank lukewarm water several times. But the pain never went away. Her condition was not something that could be called just a cold or a simple illness. Why was she living alone in a place like this? She is that sick? Juyeon's cramped room gave away her condition even at first glance. A small bed that could barely fit her body. A small desk and chair with only a laptop above it. As for the small table next to the bed, there was nothing empty on top of it, but rather countless empty medicine bags stacked in an unorganized manner. Has she been sick for a long time? Even if they were living independently, wouldn't people usually return to their original homes in circumstances like this? No. Did I even have a family? She tried to remember, but nothing came to her mind. No names, no faces, not even if she had parents or relatives. There was nothing left, nothing at all. While she was lost for a long time in this state, the dawn light began to filter through the small window. Juyeon groaned as she staggered, then got up from the chair and went to the bed to lie down. Disgusting game, she murmured in a low voice, dirty and cheap. I won't play it anymore. After saying that, she remained still for a moment. Then she raised her hand to cover her face, before a faint sobbing sound began to emerge from her. How annoying, did I have such memories? But what bothered her so much? Is it just that the game didn't work as well as you wanted? Was that something worth crying over? Not only did they change it as they wanted, it doesn't even work now. Change it? What did you mean? But as confusion crossed Precipice's face, Juyeon continued to cry quietly. Even if she covered her face with her hands, the tears fell endlessly, soaking the pillow under her head. The pain was suffocating her again. Juyeon held her chest from the left side, then turned with difficulty to the side opposite the wall. There, she saw something she didn't expect. A small notebook was sitting on top of the side table, next to the empty medicine bags. On the cover of the notebook was written, KH. Juyeon started coughing again, but this time the pain was much more severe. Therefore, while lying down, she gathered her body like a little child, perhaps to relieve the pain that was squeezing her. However, the room was so narrow that her feet touched the notebook placed on the table, causing her to drop it to the ground without resistance. That address was on the page where the notebook opened. A page filled with writing from top to bottom. What is this? Is it a guide for the game? But who writes like this about such a failed game? While Presepe was thinking about this, the following sentence caught her eye: they all have happy endings? I remembered. Haven't you heard something similar in Yoon Jun's voice herself? When I spoke with Vidar a while ago. What does this mean? The pages were full of lines, but none of them were anything that Presepe could clearly understand. She wanted to read more, to finish until the end. But Juyeon didn't let out any moans after that. Only the enormous pain in her chest, which Presepe had never imagined before, grew stronger. After a short moment, everything sank into blackness. Then Presepe woke up from the dream. Huh? She extended her hand to her chest, where the pain was squeezing her in the dream. But she didn't feel anything. There was no pain, not even a cough. The sprawling forest around it did not resemble the narrow room at all. The pouring moonlight was not like the dull computer light. Fresh air. Quiet breeze. The smell of grass. She knew that she had woken up from the dream, but her mind could not yet process it. She stared in amazement, her fingers trembling. But, does your chest hurt? Fenric's voice rang in her ear, as if she could hear him now. This has happened before, hasn't it? In front of Prince Atari's body. Yes. Right, ever since she found herself in the game, it keeps happening again. When Prince Atari died. When I went to the festival with Fenric. But every time I felt afraid or disturbed. It was a habit from her previous life. Even the medicine bags stacked in the cramped room attest to this. Did I faint there? Then you came into the game? So that book. Why did I even have it? At that very moment, a dark shadow crossed her pale face. Aya. Her shrill scream rang out, shattering the stillness of the forbidden forest.